Hey, Chris Lundy here with the Sawtooth Avalanche Center, and I'm in the Banner Summit Zone and here with Ben, and we are on east aspect at 8,800 feet, and I just want to show you guys what we're seeing after this big storm. The last storm we had the last few days dropped quite a bit of snow in this area. Hard to say what the actual new snow depth was, but there was about nearly 1.5 inches of water in about a 24-hour period, so probably pushing 16 inches of new snow. And this has been our deeper area all year. The weak layer that we've been talking about throughout our forecast area has been the most deeply buried here. And see, here is the slab we're talking about. I think the light's probably a little flat, so you might not be able to see it. But this is a solid 3-foot slab that we're dealing with now. And it's pretty dense. You know, we got some nice fluffy-ish powder at the top, but pretty quickly this is getting pretty dense, pretty darn stout. There's a lot of mass here. And that's really what makes this such a dangerous situation. As this weak layer gets more and more deeply buried, it becomes just a little harder to trigger, a little tougher for our weight to penetrate down through that slab. But once it does, and I'll pull this block off in a minute, you'll get to see that this is going to be a really, really dangerous avalanche if you triggered it. So we have a really dense slab, and then really the same weak layer we've been dealing with all year. Still really soft, still really loose and sugary. We did an extended column test here. It didn't propagate in the first 30 taps, but I beat on it a little harder and it did end up propagating all the way across. Lest you think that means it's stable, it's definitely not. The most critical piece of information for me here is the structure. We have such a dense slab over such a soft weak layer. Like, there's just no way structure like that is going to be anything good that you want to be skiing or riding on. It's just frankly scary. We also dug a pit on a similar aspect about 1,000 feet lower, and as we were stepping out of our snow pit, we got a huge collapse. It sounded like a gunshot. It was one of the cooler collapses I've ever felt. So as this weak layer gets more deeply buried, we're just ending up in a really deep, sort of dangerous situation, kind of working towards a deep slab problem. And you can just get a feel for how dense this block is. Just imagine kind of going downhill with a bunch of blocks like that. It's just not something you want to be involved in.